Listen. Wow. Listen, this is not the point of our podcast. If you think Wii Sports is a bad game, you can take a hike. You can go kick rocks. Hey, hello.
Oh, hey.
You, and I look at the camera. You too. Hello, welcome.
Pan to camera.
Pan to camera. Hello, it's Video Game Podtimism. Hi, we're your new best friends for video games. We're your video game buddies. We're going to talk about video games. It's the podcast is named Video Game Podtimism. It's
the podcast is named Your Video Game Buddies.
That probably would have been about as good as Video Game Podtimism. It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the name of this one. It's the Optimist video game variety show where two best friends talk about the wonderful world of gaming. And my name is Chase. Hey, I'm one of your buddies. Hey.
I'm David. I'm your other buddy, I guess.
Hey, what's going on? Together we form Vegito.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Not even like Chavid, but straight up Vegito.
Yeah, just transform into another person altogether.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, dude.
Transform into another person who is the amalgamation of two other people.
We have a bit to get to, so I do want to jump in because our pods as of late, we just kind of say like, oh, this will be a quick little jaunt, and then we record like a 2-hour fucking epic. And then cut to me on Sunday, an hour and a half into editing, being like, why have I done this to myself?
Yeah.
Why have I done this? So anyway, let's get to the thing that we do here. We talk about the video games. Hey, David, have you been playing video games?
I have been playing those video games.
Do you want to tell me about those?
Yeah. So cool. I've been playing still Forza.
Yeah, I suspected so. It's kind of a longer game.
It is a longer game.
You're playing Forza Horizon 4.
Forza Horizon 4.
Yeah.
Quite good. I'm enjoying it a lot. The graphics are really nice. The physics are good.
Yep.
You know, I think we talked about last time, forgiving, but also realistic. So it makes you feel like you're doing good and that you're a real race car driver when you do well.
It's not on autopilot or anything.
So that's still been quite a good time.
Yeah.
Still been playing Doom Eternal. Also still a good time.
Sure.
Had to get that new NVIDIA GeForce whatever program on my computer to get the ray tracing to do it right.
Hell yeah, baby. We're working with drivers now.
I'm a real PC gamer now, Chase. Playing this on my Xbox controller. But yeah, still quite good. Good gameplay loop. Still just can't play it for too long because it gets me nervous.
The demonic energy starts seeping into your hands.
The gent just starts filling my body with fell energy. What do they call argent energy, as they say in the game, I think, right?
Yeah.
So I just can't do it for too long. But I have also been playing Chase.
Yes.
Monster Train.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Just say the name of the genre for me.
It's a deck building roguelike, my dude.
That's what we're all here for. That's what it's all about, baby. Just hearing those sweet words.
I've also been playing Slay the Spire.
No way. You got to hit me with the 1-2 punch like that?
I do.
Chill out. I'm going to implode. Wow, this is a big deal. I spend a not insignificant amount of my life now playing and talking about these kind of video games. This is significant.
I'm here for it.
Oh, thank God. I was so worried. I was so worried you're going to say these games suck. I hate these video games.
No, I've been pretty into it.
Yeah.
I've been pretty into both of them.
They're fun games.
Yeah, I think I prefer Monster Train.
It's fair.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
It seems, I think it's just because it's a little bit easier and I'm still kind of new to the genre. Like Slay the Spire has just been kind of kicking my butt. Monster Train, I was able to kind of get through through the main run after like 2 or 3 tries.
Mm-hmm.
Once they hang in the mechanics.
Yeah.
Slay the Spire is still just kind of beating me
It's definitely harder, yeah. I think the level of polish, too, is definitely higher on Monster Train. I don't know if this is the case. Monster Train came out like a while after Slay the Spire, and so I do wonder like how much of it was just a bunch of game devs being like, hey, this fucking rules. Let's do a kind of game like this, but we just have like resources and time to actually like make it shiny and good.
Really,
not that Slay the Spire is bad at all, but like it doesn't look great.
No, yeah. Monster Train definitely has higher res sprites and different cooler effects as well. And the tiered system of combat is pretty engaging and interesting.
You're talking about like on the actual train. I guess we should explain like what this game is, because there's probably a non-insignificant amount of people who have no fucking clue what this video game is.
Yeah. Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
I'll give it a crack. Let's see. So Monster Train is, as David pronounced for all to hear, a deck building roguelike wherein you start a run of the game and you have a pre-built deck that you sort of combine depending on like what couple of classes you choose. In Monster Train, they're like represented by like different kinds of monsters as the
clans of monsters.
Right. There's like ones that look like just prototypical demons. There's like sort of more like magic based users that I think are also kind of be used as like defense guys.
Like woods people.
Yeah. And so you can combine those and it'll start you out with different cards that you play in like rounds of combat. The actual combat is you have a train. At the top of it, there's like the heart or the core. I don't remember what it's called, but
the pyre.
Yes, exactly. And that has a life force. There are enemies that are spawning at the bottom of the train, and they're trying to make their way up to the top of your pyre to hit it and kill it. And so your job is to like put enough dudes in front of it that will kind of strategically fight these monsters off. You have like spells that you can use and shit as well. And so the draw of the game is that as you continue through and continue fighting different levels, that the monsters will get increasingly harder. And so you kind of have to like adapt. The way that you do that is that after every battle, you can draft new cards that are potentially better and more than likely better than the ones that are in your base deck. And there's also some like, there's like a small little economy thing where you can buy like, you know, permanent buffs or anything like that, or just like
duplicate
different
cards or stuff like that.
Yeah. There's sort of wrinkles and all of that, but that's sort of the base experience. And then if you lose, you go back to the beginning with some meta progress in Monster Train. There's a little bit there, but the core of the game is that you'll restart with that base deck again, and then be able to draft new cards to sort of like try another run.
And it's quite fun.
What do you enjoy about these games? Because I suspect that's probably different than what I'm getting out of them.
I think so.
Yeah.
I like to do combos, and I like to get value out of my cards. I think those are the two big things that get me going. So like the rogue deck in Slay the Spire, whoever it is.
The Silent, I think.
Poison, and like you get different cards activate if you've played cards that are worth 0 this turn, or like, I've always wanted to play. I think really what it is that it lets me fulfill my combo love in Hearthstone without actually having to pay like $5,000 to get the cards that I need to do it.
Or just play 100 games and you get the one where you do the cool combo.
Yeah, I get to do the cool combo, and some 12-year-old isn't talking shit to me the whole time while I'm trying to pull it off.
Well played.
Yeah. Oh God, nightmares.
It's horrendous.
So I think that's one of the big things I love about it. I can just kind of dick around and do cool things and try to do cool things. Yeah. And also still try to win. And then I also like the upgrading aspect of it, where I can upgrade certain cards. And I'm thinking more, I think, on Monster Train on this one. You can just like upgrade the shit out of a certain card and get insane value out of it, where it's like it used to be like a like 1 mana card that does like 10 damage or something like that just to one person, but you can upgrade or do like damage to everybody. It costs 0. You can duplicate it then a couple times and have a bunch in your deck and just power people insane value on your cards, which I enjoy that. I enjoy value. Enjoy a good value.
I definitely get the like combo appeal, because I think it's both of those games really thrive on making it fun immediately, but then the draw and the promise is always like you'll run into a combo at some point that you're like, oh my God, that was really, really useful, or like really kicked somebody's ass. And then either how could I tweak that to maybe do that differently, or how do I do that again?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so like the promise of you could really be overpowered at some point is really fun, in the same way that when you run up on like a really interesting boon in Hades, like the game doesn't bite back. Like you just might be overpowered for that run. And that's really fun. Like
it is.
Them just letting you do that of like, yeah, you're just going to beat the shit out of this run because you drafted some good cards is totally cool. That they're like, yeah, it's fine, because it's not this like progression that's going to last you the whole game. It's going to last you probably another 20 to 30 minutes and then you'll start over again. And so it doesn't take away from the draw of the entire game, which I think is probably not the entire reason, but partially why this genre is so popular is because you can tune for runs rather than for tuning an entire game, which is really fucking hard to do.
Yeah.
Like you have no clue of like what experience level somebody's going to be 50 hours into a video game. Like that's really hard to know unless you're really tuning the enemy levels and shit, versus like you can play test Monster Train in an hour, you know, like you can play conceptually a whole run of the game, and then that's it. At that point, you're just tuning meta progression of like, how quickly am I unlocking new cards? How quickly am I unlocking new monsters? And that's, again, also something it's like, you know, you can test that. You can feel out like what feels good. And so I think like it lends itself to almost more indie development where somebody doesn't have a team of QA testers. They have like the developers and like 10 of their friends. And then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Or, in the case of, what was the name of the game? Hold on. Vault of the Void. Do something like that where it comes out in early access and like the game is very much like competent and well put together, but like you can get feedback from people and see like, is this good? Do you guys like this? Does it feel fair? So yeah, I love this kind of thing. Totally agree with the combo message there.
I love doing the combos.
It feels
good. Like I got 10 cards in my hand. I'm going to use them all just to destroy you.
There's a achievement that I've never gotten in Slay the Spire where I think it's like you have to end your game with 3 cards in your deck. And I'm always tempted to get there.
End the game? What, you just have 3 cards and you only play those 3 cards?
Exactly, yeah.
Whoa.
Like there's a world where you could make a deck where it's like you have 3 cards. One of them is like draw a card. Another one is an attack. And another one's like a draw or something where it's just kind of like looping over on itself. And there's a lot of like relics that you can use to get like a shitload of energy over time. And so like that sort of stuff is very compelling.
Yeah.
To be like, oh man, how can I make this work?
You can do it, Chase. Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Yeah, it's great.
Report back next week. Let's hear it.
Like I need another obsession. I've been playing so much fucking Grifflands, dude. I have a problem with these video games.
Grifflands, huh?
Yeah. I don't mention it on the show, but I play Grifflands is now my before bed deck building roguelike.
Has dethroned Slay the Spire.
I've just played Slay the Spire to death. I've played so much of that game. It's still fun, don't get me wrong, but Grifflands has more ore for me to mine out of it.
It's a little deeper.
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. I just haven't played it nearly as much.
Sure.
There's still cards I'm unlocking.
A fresh mine.
Yeah. Sick. Do you have what other thoughts do you have on these games? I'm privy to learn.
I'm excited to explore more of them. I definitely see why the Switch has a lot of them, because it's kind of the perfect thing to have on the Switch. And I'm just kind of impressed by the depth of mechanics that go in these games. They're pretty complex, but accessible, which is hard to do. So I applaud the developers for a job well done. I think, I was able to just jump in and play, and, just with my experience with Hearthstone before, I think it just made it really simple, but even then I don't think it would have been too hard to kind of understand what was going on. No,
and I think a lot of these games do a really good job of rewarding you for experimentation. They're just like, yeah, just get in there, fuck it up. Like, it doesn't matter if you die on the first level, you've lost 5 minutes. Like, there's no problem with dying, and then you get to try something else. Like, it's just immediately rewarding.
Yeah. So I do love that they allow for experimentation and kind of encourage it.
Wow, I can't believe that you're playing these video games. This is going to change the whole vibe of the podcast.
After a year and a half of this cast, you finally got me to play one of these games.
Oh my god, at long last. Finally. I wasn't even my worst fear was that I would push for you to play these, and then you'd, again, like I said, just be like, dude, these sucks, bro. Going against the entire ideology of our podcast, you'd come in here and say, this fucking stinks.
We're not friends anymore. I can't be friends with someone who likes these games.
I'm gonna dunk on these video games and then stop the podcast.
Yeah, it's only Earthworm Jim and Sega Genesis X-Men for me now.
Oh man. Painful. Sick. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm interested to see kind of your arc with these games.
Yeah, we'll see. I got these. They're both on Game Pass, so
Yeah.
it's just very low barrier of entry. So I was like, might as well. Give them a
I mean,
shot.
those are two of the
They're
best
good.
ones, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of people like both of those and sort of point to them and say, like, these are very good examples of the genre. So it's certainly not a bad place to start.
Good to know.
What else have you been playing?
That's really been it. What have you been playing?
I have been playing some video games, a little bit fewer, but more concise this week. I've finally, at long last, beat the first level of the last spell, not Slay the Spire.
Nice.
It is in early access, and so it turns out that is the only level that is out there right now, which is fine because I played this game for like 40 fucking hours and really, really got up in there.
Damn.
It is very good. It's very satisfying, very fun. I felt like I was like getting pretty dang good at the game after a certain point, and like the meta progression was definitely sort of pushing me that direction. Actually, I won't spoil it. It's still very early access, so I don't want to give too much away. But it was really fun. Like, I'm definitely interested to see like what they do with this game, sort of post early access and post alpha. Because like they could probably just keep doing levels and like kind of upping the difficulty. But I'm interested to see like, are they going to keep the town layout the same? Because at this point, it's just like a square that you're defending. It'd be interesting to see like if you had maybe two of those like in the same spot, like how to do that right or whatever. Like, there's just a lot of things I imagine you could do to sort of twist it to make it different from level to level. Yeah. So that was cool. I quite enjoyed it. I'm probably going to put it on ice until it's like out completely, just because I played so much of it that like may need to hold off on it. So yeah, that one was fucking good. Cool. I have also been playing Pokemon Unite.
Oh, the MOBA?
The new Pokemon MOBA, the multiplayer online battle arena.
Are you a Charizard main?
I am currently in a Alolan Ninetales main. That's my jam.
Ninetales.
Yeah, very, very. I feel very good about Ninetales.
Ice Tails.
Ice Tails. Yeah, I'm maining Dragon Tails. No, I am. It's so. A MOBA, for maybe somebody who hasn't played one of those, like I said, multiplayer online battle arena. What that means in practice is that it's usually a 5-on-5 game where there are lanes that you go to in like a neutral space and then try and push into other people's bases to like beat them. Games like this are Dota, League of Legends, Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard's attempt at that. Also League Wild Rift for mobile that came out I think earlier this year. So it is pretty fun. I think, again, we were talking about this last week about games that are like made for us. This game feels pretty made for me. Like, I already love Dota. I already played way too much Dota, and I also like Pokemon. So like I'm kind of in from the jump. Yep. It's like pretty competent. I think that the changes that they've made in this one are interesting enough. So per normal MOBA stuff, it's 5-on-5. People choose different Pokemons, and you can either go in the top lane, the bottom lane, or kind of fuck around in the jungle in the middle. You gain levels pretty quickly by killing like neutral monsters. So there's just like other Pokemon scattered around the map that you
murder for experience.
There's like a Pokeball that shows up whenever you beat them. So conceptually they're being caught, but who knows? But you just go beat up on these tiny little Pokemon and you get experience and sort of level up. It's one of my favorite things is that a lot of the Pokemon start in their base forms. So Ninetales starts as a Vulpix, and then at a certain level you evolve into a Ninetales, which is like, that's my shit. That feels pretty good. Especially if you're a three-tiered evolution. Like a little Ghastly, starting as one of those, get into a Haunter and then a Gengar. That's fucking cool. Love that.
How do you just gain more experience?
Yeah, so the more neutrals you kill, the more like experience you get to level up.
Gotcha.
The way that this is in contrast to a lot of other MOBAs, the point of the game is not necessarily to get into the other people's base and destroy it, but rather to score points on the other team. The way that you do that is you go and kill these little neutrals and you get like little Pokemon points for doing that. And then you'll go to one of their like in other MOBAs would be called towers. They're just like little spots on the map. Yeah. And you go and like do a dunk on the tower with your Pokemon points.
You dunk on it.
You literally dunk on it. There's a hoop and you put your Pokemon points through it. which like is
Cool.
actually kind of sick. I love that. Being like a Pikachu and just running up on it and dunking a ball. Like that feels pretty good. I like that.
Dunkachu.
Dunkachu. And that's Dunkin' Donuts' new mascot.
Dunkachu. It's just Pikachu, but he has a hole in the middle.
Oh,
So
God.
He's a donut.
He's a donut. I was just going to put him in a Dunkin' out form. Out form. Interesting.
This is my out form only.
You may see my in-form if you find my true form. Peachum, perhaps Peachmos. Peachumos.
Peachmos?
Yeah, whatever the Bloodborne version of Pikachu is.
Oh, Peach. I thought you were saying like Princess Peach. I was very confused.
Okay, so the twist on that formula.
What was that reaction to Princess Peach?
I was just trying to, my brain was wandering off. I had to reel it back in. So the twist on those formulas, I think, is pretty interesting because killing, or yeah, I guess killing is the only word in these games. Killing the other team is like a critical part of the game. And like it is in this one too, but you're not necessarily getting like really rewarded for killing somebody. If the opposing team rolls up, does a really good dunk on one of your towers, and then runs away and you kill them, there's not really a lot of value in that other than like kind of having some space to go do your own thing. Whereas in, Dota or League or something like that, you would get money to buy better items and shit and thereby like further your lead. But it seems like this game lives a lot more on your experience and your level difference with other people. Like one level can be the difference between losing or winning a fight. And so it seems the management of when and how you're attacking these like neutral Pokemon is a lot more significant than it would be in the other games. It's still very important, like the way you get gold in Dota and MOBA is last hitting to like kill the neutrals and kill your little lane monsters. But
yeah,
it's a little bit reduced in this one to the point where like you really do need to be working on like, okay, I've killed all the neutrals I can right now. Now is a good time to go fight and then come back and do it some more. And then if you're the opposing team, it behooves you to interrupt that, to go and fuck with people while they're fighting neutrals.
You are behooved.
You are behooved to go kill a Gengar. So it's interesting. I think like as somebody who plays a lot of these, it is just fun to kind of see like what is happening here as far as like the gameplay goes, and then how are people adapting to it? Like how are people sort of playing out the meta?
Yeah, so how's the meta progressing?
Yeah, because I mean, like at launch and even still, like it can be an absolute blowout a lot of the time. Like people don't necessarily know that you need to score points, and so like there's been a couple times where it's like 500 to 0. Like just the team did not focus on what needed to be done, and therefore like just they scored really poorly, and so. There's those games, and that happens on my end too, where like I just felt like I could get no points in at all. They're just doing a really good job of kind of zoning out every other player, and so minor shifts in how you play definitely are having a big effect. Like on Friday, really nobody was sort of in what would be called the center jungle zone. Nobody was really in there. That I was seeing. And then suddenly today, like you'll find at least like a couple of games a day, somebody will go in there and come out fucking huge, just strong. And so you're like, okay, maybe we need to send somebody in to like get bigger so that they can come and help out on like fights in the middle of the game. So yeah, it's interesting to see kind of how that's playing out because it's not like a settled deal at this point.
Sure.
It is a little janky around the edges. Like you played Pokemon Go when it came out. Like there's a little bit of rust on the edges of that game in kind of a similar way here, where like some of the sound effects are kind of weird and like the music, like there's just one song that plays when you're playing the game. So I just immediately was like, I have to turn this off. Like menus not always responding to your thing, and like it'll just kind of get locked up sometimes. And like it's a fucking early video game. I don't really give a shit, but I think that there's a lot of room for them to like expand and do more with this game. It feels like Overwatch did when they were still testing it out and being like, what do we do with this game? Whereas like, all the like quality of life and UX stuff that they did was like so significant. Even like the play of the game stuff. I feel like a play of the game recap in this game would be really cool. Yeah. Because sometimes just like you do these crazy plays where like you kill like 4 other of their like opposing team members at once by just timing your ultimate correctly. Ooh. So it feels good, man. Yeah, it does. So like there's a lot of strategery there that's actually pretty fun. So yeah, I'm going to keep playing this. Like they've got me looped in. I've already bought the fucking battle pass like an idiot. Because like I need to unlock more pants for my avatar. Like I'm an imbecile, but
who decided that battle pass is the name? Where did that
It was
start?
in Dota for a while. The Battle Pass
Dota?
was in Dota for a while. And I think with the success of Fortnite was doing a Battle Pass. And then it was like, everybody knows what this word means.
Yeah, this became the thing.
Yeah, I think so. So I'm not actually sure who's the originator though, because it was called like a season pass for a while. I feel like that was kind of the verbiage. But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing. I'll let you know how my either addiction or evacuation goes from this game.
How's the community? Are they nice?
Yeah, I mean, like it's definitely a Nintendo game. There's not a lot of room to be like toxic to one another.
Sure.
You can't like voice chat. You can't type into the game. Like there's predetermined things.
That makes a big difference.
And it's also, the chat's a little hard to use. So you're not like, you would kind of have to duck out of the game for a second and like go and select like, I need help or defending here for it to really be useful. A lot of the time it's just like people actually trying to communicate like, help me, or let's go kill Zapdos or something.
Zapdos?
Yeah, it's like Zapdos shows up like kind of towards the end of the game. And if you kill it or I guess capture it, then you get like a pretty significant buff.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's stuff you got to manage like that.
There's some other burbs?
There's some other burbs. Yeah, so the community's not that bad. Not yet, at least. I assume that there's probably a lot of like children playing this.
Sure.
So it's I can't
a little
imagine
more under control.
A little bit more under control. You don't want it to be terrible. So I'm hoping it doesn't get terrible. I'm hoping like the well played doesn't ever show up in this fucking video game, although I'm sure it will.
Never say never.
Yeah, it'll happen. The final game that I've been playing this week, I played a whole lot of it, was this game called Death's Door.
Ooh. Wait, I've heard of this.
It's recent. This game came out last week.
Yeah.
I have played and beaten it. It's not super long. Very good, too.
What is it?
This is like a kind of isometric, like a top-down kind of adventure game. Mm-hmm. This was the first time I had seen this was at E3, like a month ago. They showed it a lot at, I think it was Day of the Devs. And I was like, hey, this looks like exactly my shit. Mm-hmm. It's this sort of not over the shoulder, but top down adventure game in kind of a Zelda-ish fashion, where you play as a little bird who has a sword, and you're going around, and the conceit initially was just like you're working for essentially a group of other crows that go around and like reap souls, right?
Okay.
You have to shepherd people from here to the afterlife. And they didn't show a lot other than just like, here's what the combat looks like and here's what the art style looked like. And I was like, yes, please, I'll take two. It came out last week, and I can confirm, very good. A very good video game, Death's Door. So there's a lot of influences that it's drawing from, and I think, if you play this, you'll kind of notice them, but not in a bad way, just to sort of like contextualize what this game is. Mm-hmm. It's definitely Zelda in sort of those top-down, old-school sort of ways. There's an overworld, and you have to sort of go into these like dungeons and fight different beasts and solve a bunch of puzzles. And a lot of the times the puzzles are tailored around a certain weapon that you'll get through, or a certain tool or item that you'll get through about halfway through a dungeon. Like a hook shot or something like that.
Sure.
So there's that. It's got a little bit of Hyper Light Drifter just in the way that it looks. Like I think there's kind of a similar visual style. It's not quite as like neon or sort of like 80s retro futurism sort of stuff, but the combat and the way the sword swings looks pretty Hyper Light Driftery. Okay. It feels like physically feels a lot like Bastion, just the way that the game sort of like controls. Like the dodge roll feels very Bastion-y. And the same thing with how you get different weapons in it, and the similar sort of thing of how the weapons all feel pretty different, and essentially how you're supposed to leverage those to fight, which feels great. Like I gotta say, the combat just feels really, really good. The dodge roll feels exactly how long it should. Yeah. And you have invincibility frames for exactly how long you should. Like that's definitely a game feel thing, and it's fucking hard to do because do you just set invincibility for however long that animation is running, or like do people perceive that they shouldn't have gotten hit after you finish the roll and shit like that? So I feel like that's a really hard thing to hit, but they did it. I've seen people compare some of this to Dark Souls, and I think some of it's in there, but this game draws from Dark Souls in a similar way in the way that Hollow Knight did. Sure. I think even less so, but the main thing that it's pulling from, I think, is the world building. The world is like not hollow or empty, but like kind of like cursed almost, like the lands feel very like forbidden in a way. Sure. And so like that part of it's really cool, and the way that Dark Souls and Hollow Knight 2 tells a story with just like what the world looks like, I think is pretty significant, and like does a really good job of setting it up for the player and showing you like what this world is without, you know, hello tiny crow, I'm the owl who's gonna tell you what this world is and all that sort of shit.
Zelda on blast right now.
So there's that. I think that, like, you know, it's hard in a way that is similar to Dark Souls, but it doesn't punish you that badly for dying in the way that Dark Souls does, right? Like, you don't lose your meta progression points when you do that. And so, you know, it's punishing in the way that, like, it's hard, but in places, like, there were only a few times where I was, you know, really stuck and like kind of had to focus to beat somebody.
Sure.
But yeah, it's visually striking in a couple of places. Like, they do a lot of work with just like the visuals of the game. You know, the like hub that you go back and forth to, the like headquarters of this like crow organization that you work for. It's all in like black and white and shit, and just like looks beautiful. Also, the music, David. My goodness, the music is just fucking phenomenal.
All right. We're big on music on this podcast. So.
Really, for whatever reason, we didn't set out to do that, but
happy accident.
Yeah, it's definitely a part of it. So let me give you a little preview. This is the music for the hub world. This is your crow organization.
That's a vibe.
It's fucking good. Give it until a minute though. At 1 minute, it kind of picks up. Yeah. It has a lot of this like orchestral music in a way that like I found is utilized really well.
I definitely feel like a supernatural crow at work.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not overly dour either.
No, it's not like sinking into that sadness.
The horn. This horn, every time I heard it, gave me big Traverse Town vibes.
Ooh. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Same horn, same key-ish, I think. Just this whole song is kind of Kingdom Heartsy, honestly. A
little bit, yeah. It's definitely got a Kingdom Hearts vibe to it. It's like bittersweet almost.
That's Kingdom Hearts, baby.
Yeah. So, anywho, the music in it is just fucking phenomenal throughout. Like, not only are like specific songs very good, but they play with like this. I can't remember if it's like a 3 or 4 tone like motif throughout the whole thing. There's like a certain little run on the piano that they use over and over and over again, like through different parts of the game. And like, I just fucking love it when any piece of media does musical motifs, a piece of a song that they keep coming back to under different contexts. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so fucking useful and powerful. I have no idea why people don't do it more often.
Keeps things moving.
You can speak to the tone of a scene so well if you're just like recontextualizing the like single run that you have. Like if you play it in a different key or you play at a different speed or with a different instrument or something like that, like it all serves to characterize like what's going on in the moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I found it so effective. Like there were so many points in the game where I was like, I'm just going to hang out in this room for a second while the music continues to play. Because it's all just so fucking good. It like, I'm not sure like what was going on, what was in the water, but the composer, I think it's David Fenn. It was crushing it. It feels very, very good. Yeah, no, really good music. I was thoroughly impressed with that. I think game soundtracks have a tendency, and I think this is happening like kind of more as games develop, to not have sort of like a theme or like I was saying, these like bits of music that they come back to over and over again.
Yeah.
I think you find that more in games that are a little bit older. I'm not sure if that's just maybe where the fucking music industry was at the moment, but like I don't remember a lot of music from huge games, you know, like there's probably a theme to Nathan Drake, but I don't know what it is. I couldn't hum it for you.
It's true.
Not that that's what makes a good piece of music, but like I think I enjoy the kind of music like this where it's very much like adding to the tone rather than supporting it. like usually in big games like that, and you know, same thing in like Last of Us or something like that, I feel like the music is usually serving to enhance whatever scene you're in rather than adding to it.
Sure.
The Crow headquarters could be very like depressing and dour. It's in black and white. All the characters are kind of like distant, and when you talk to them, also there's a crow named Ball Plart. Which I respect the gumption for being able to do this. But that area could be very like depressing, but with the music adding to it, it creates this sort of like other feeling that wouldn't be there if you just looked at one of them. It's only in the combination of the two that it like really makes sense and like really hits home. And so I just fucking love that.
They gotta be together.
So anyway, beat it. It was concise. Like I felt like it really didn't do anything more than it needed to or wanted to. The story was pretty fucking good. Like told the whole story.
Oh yeah.
You know, had some things to say about the nature of death and living and sort of like moving from one generation to the next and how that can affect things and like how someone's intent can be sort of warped over years. So yeah, I thought it was fucking good. Like if you have a chance, you should get it. Cool. It's a good video game.
Oh, sounds interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, this will bring me to my Podtimistic thing, which I didn't write down.
Uh-oh.
There was this article posted on Kotaku where the author Zach Swisen, I think is how you say this, he had posted an article about I played those zombie games following you around on the internet so you don't have to.
Yeah.
Do you know those like kind of shitty looking ad video games that they'll show you if you're playing like an actual mobile game, and in between them they'll show you an ad for like some other video game,
something you don't give a shit about?
Yeah, and oftentimes looks like a very weird video game, and like more often than not I'm convinced like there's no way this is what the actual video game looks like. Like they're showing you a very fancy ad that I'm sure once I download it will not look like that at all. And I'm always curious, but like
it's like E3's past. It's Killzone style.
Yeah, like what actually happens in this video game? I would like to see that. Anyway, he had written an article about that where he just played all these games, and sure enough, a lot of them are just Peggle, but with a zombie skin on them. I just found it so delightful. I love when people like kind of root around in the weird parts of the internet. Like any of those articles where they're like, hey, I went and clicked on an ad that says like, you know, you can make $1 million doing this. And I tried to find where it led me to, like what scam is actually underneath this.
The brave few, or like, I will surrender my IP address to this.
Yeah, or like my computer, like I'll just let it die, whatever it may be.
If it dies, it dies. Internet explorers. Truly.
Yeah, this is the real meaning of Internet Explorer. David, do you have something fueling your sense of podtimism this week?
I do.
What is it?
It's a sweet combo.
Oh, hell yeah. Love a combo. I'm assuming you're talking about it under the context of a deck building roguelike.
A deck building roguelike. Ooh, you can use all the cards in your hand because you got some extra mana, energy, whatever it is that
got
turn.
Some juice, yeah.
You got some of your cards that activate some of your other cards that get a buff for some of your characters who are then going to attack the shit out of somebody. Ooh, hell yeah. Feels good. Feels good when you can just power someone. And, you know, of course, combos in like fighting games, combos in like God of War when you pull off a sweet combo. Sure. Ooh, feels good.
Do you when you're thinking of a combo in a fighting game, what do you think of? Like, what's the first one that comes to mind?
Probably something from Budokai.
Oh, interesting.
Honestly.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Those are the ones. That's the one that I actually started to try to do combos in.
But yeah, the ones that stick out.
Those were so basic though. They're just like, here's how you do the Buster Cannon. There's like 4 buttons in a row. And then you do Buster Cannon. You feel cool.
And then that's it. Yeah, I liked how they handled combos in the game. It was awfully simple. Like you didn't have to do a lot to get there.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fighting game person in particular, and I'm not talking about like actual combos. I guess you'd call them strings, I think is what they call them when it's a combo that is not something that you can like not get out of. Yeah. So I guess in fighting games, I guess you do more strings. So
you've played a fair amount of Smash Brothers, which I think counts as maybe a fighting game.
That's true. It does count as a fighting game. It's at fighting game competitions.
It's not like the traditional like Street Fighter or like Marvel versus Capcom or like a Guilty Gear or something, but it is certainly in the same. Yeah, you're right. It's at Evo. Like
Mario's
should be
up
counted.
tilt. That's my favorite combo.
Oh man, the up
Just
tilt
get
where
them
he does the
stuck.
little like the
little
upward
tiny
punching.
uppercut. Tiny
Yeah.
uppercut.
That one felt great. Any combo where you can conceivably spike someone at the end of it in Smash Brothers is like really my shit.
That's your favorite thing. One of your favorite things in gaming, I think, is when you spike somebody.
Absolutely. It's the best feeling in the world, especially if it's the last kill of the game. It is
Donkey Kong.
divine.
God.
I reach nirvana whenever that happens. I ascend to a higher plane.
Do.
Yeah.
You stop being Chase Albee and you become someone else.
Chut Buttby. I'm pretty sure.
You become Chut Buttby. It's true. That is definitely when Chut comes out. It's Donkey Kong. Anyways.
Hell yeah. Do you want to move on to our main thing?
Yeah, let's do it.
David, I have a secret segment that you didn't know about.
Secret segment
coming in hot.
Wee woo.
It is not the secret segment that we will do next week. That's a different secret segment.
There's another secret segment?
There's another one next week.
Do we need a
but not
stinger for
week.
this? The secret stinger?
I think we may have one. It may just be the Smash Bros. Like fighter incoming sound.
You're right.
I've got a secret segment. So the next two segments, the ones that we're about to do, both have to do with the Olympics.
Yes.
The one we're going to do in a moment, we're going to count down some our favorite favorite sports games in honor of the Olympics.
Yes.
Not all of these things are at the Olympics, but still. At the 2020 Tokyo opening ceremony, they used video game music as the like background music for a lot of it.
Really?
They sure did.
Oh man.
And there's a little list here. It's not huge, but it's there. I was hoping that we could play a song for you, and you can see if you can guess it. See if you can understand which song it'll be.
Okay, I'm on the hot seat.
You're in the hot seat, David.
Seat.
So I'm gonna play these songs.
Okay.
I think you have a fair chance of getting maybe like 3 or 4 of them.
How many are there?
It's about 10 or 13 or so.
All right.
It's tough.
I see your faith in me. I see your faith in me, Chase.
It's genuinely, I would have no fucking clue where these are from for most of them.
All right.
Okay, let me know if you can hear this. Okay,
That's just
this is the
Olympics.
first one. It isn't.
Wait.
I don't know if you've played one of these games.
Oh my god, dude, that sounds so goddamn familiar.
Yeah,
Is it Dragon?
I mean,
no, is it oh god. Oh, with the slimes?
What's the name of the game, David?
Oh god. No, it's
You were so close.
Dragon's Lair?
No, not Dragon's Lair.
What is the name of the Dragon Tail?
No, that's the show.
What is the name of this game? I think I just played Dragon Age? No, that's
not
the
Dragon
BioWare
Age.
one.
That's the BioWare one.
Oh my god. Oh, I just played the demo for one of them.
When you go out on one of these, it's like this grand tale. There's mystery, there's danger. It starts with a Q.
Quest.
That is Dragon Quest Roto's theme. You are correct.
Dragon
David.
Quest. I knew it was the one with the slimes. Everybody knows. I got that one right. That's a point for David.
You said dragon pretty early on, so I'm going to give you half a point for that one.
I knew the game, just couldn't remember the actual the following of what came after Dragon.
For sure. Okay, so let's move on to the next one here.
Okay.
Do you know?
It's Final Fantasy, right?
Yes, it is
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
It's got to be
the
Final
victory,
Fantasy.
the victory fanfare. Yeah, classic.
Yeah, it's classic.
This next one you won't get because it's a game I had never played or really heard of. David, this is of course Tales of Zestiria.
Zestiria.
Yes, Sori's theme, The Shepherd.
I know there's the Tales series, but I never would have guessed that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, me neither. I don't know if you've played these games, so we'll see. I wouldn't have gotten this. for sure.
That part sounds familiar.
You can take a guess, but like I will take no points from.
Legend of Mana.
No, it's actually Monster Hunter, Proof of a Hero.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never played any Monster Hunter games.
Yeah. The next one, I think you have a good chance of getting this one.
Let's hear it.
I will say, your hint for this one, very on brand given where it's being played. Not Tokyo, but the Olympics.
Fuck. For some reason, the only thing I think of is Kingdom Hearts.
That's because you're right, Dave.
It is?
This
Kingdom
is
Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts. This is the Olympus Coliseum
I was about
track.
to say, this is. I feel like I'm on Olympus. Okay, good. I'm not crazy.
Okay, we've got a series here that I think are going to be pretty tough.
All right, let's hear it.
I would be shocked if you got this. I've played this game a lot and I had no idea.
Is it some JRPG?
I mean, you're right about that. Take a shot in the darks. Just guess a JRPG. See which one it is.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Not a bad guess. It is Chrono Trigger. This is Frog's theme.
Chrono Trigger. Okay.
The next one. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it to you. It's Ace Combat.
Ace Combat.
I didn't know Ace Combat had a soundtrack, David. Like,
you loved Ace Combat.
Did I?
I thought you loved Ace Combat when we were younger.
I mean, I may have played them, but my excitement about this game is pretty low.
Yeah.
Kind of a bop though. I was into this.
For a second I was like, is this Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, it's got a similar vibe. There's a few more here that I think we're through sort of the tough midsection.
Okay, let's hear what else we got.
If I give you the name of the song, you'll know exactly what it's from.
I don't want it then. Give me a second here.
Okay. Might have given it away there.
Is this Earthbound?
No. The name of the track is Starlight Zone.
Oh my god, I don't know.
This is a Sonic the Hedgehog bop, my friend.
Sonic Zone. Best.
Yep. Almost had him. Okay, let's check the next one. I don't know if you're gonna know this song specifically, but I think you might get it just from kind of the instrumentation that they use.
Lots of drums.
Give it a sec.
Tropical vibe. Oh, is this Nier Automata?
This is Nier, my friend.
This
Song
is
of the
Nier.
Ancients. Yeah, I'm gonna count that. You got Nier.
I love the Nier music. It definitely has
It's very, very
has a
good.
vibe to it.
It's the vocalization. Like,
Yeah.
it's something else. Okay, the final one. We've made it.
Okay, let's do it.
This one's kind of tough to pull out, I will say.
Uh-huh. Have I played this as well?
Yes, you have. Let me start it over and let me say some words that I don't think are actually in the game, but will kind of clue you in.
Okay.
Two souls locked in battle.
Nah, see, Soul Calibur.
It is Soul Calibur,
Yeah.
yes.
You had to do was say 2 souls and I'm dead.
Yeah. I feel like there's a dude who starts talking whenever this music comes up. That may be actually the verbiage from it. I'll pull it up and see if that's it or
I'm
not.
pretty sure it is.
Well done, David. You got more than I was kind of expecting. There's some toughies in there.
I at least got 3 that were pretty good.
You got 3. I'll as a present, I'll get you something real cool for your birthday.
Oh, I'm gonna be a big boy.
Yes, you are. Okay, secret segment over.
Wow, that was fun.
But let's get to the actual real segment.
Okay.
Which is, like we were saying, we, in honor of the Olympics, the big games where they come together.
The big games.
Everybody in every 4 years comes together and says, let's do a cool sport together and see
Except Russia, you're not invited.
Except Russia. And is North Korea at these games? I don't know if they are.
I feel like they're probably seen them, but
yeah. I feel like them and like stepping on Japanese soil might be kind of a weird look.
Probably.
Given how many rockets they were firing over Japan.
Yeah.
Different podcast. Anyway, we were going to count down our top 5 favorite sports games in honor of the Olympics. A notable non-sportsman, like not super into sports.
Only one of us here has actually played a sport at any sort of competitive level, Chase, and that's you.
Wow, that was the twist I was not expecting. That is a true fact. I'm not convinced that what I did on the baseball team in high school was considered playing sports, but I was on the team.
You were sports adjacent.
Yeah. We were going to count down our top 5 sports games. This list is loose, I'll say. Like, I definitely thought about this the past few days, but like, I'm convinced that in 3 or 4 weeks, I will awaken in the middle of the night and be like, oh, fuck.
In a cold sweat.
I forgot Forza Motorsport.
Are we counting that as sports?
I didn't count racing games.
Racing is different than, I think, different category game wise.
Yeah, there's enough of them that I think I would want to split it out. So no, I didn't include any racing.
Okay, good.
Car motorsports, I should say. So yeah, let's do that. So to table set a little bit, how did you make your list? Is this best sports games? Is it these are the sports games you enjoyed the most?
My personal favorites.
Okay, that's where I was too.
Yeah, that's all you can do. You can't be like, this is objectively the best.
Yeah. So it's definitely going to be based on our taste, and so like, don't be mad.
Yeah, sorry, hockey and baseball games. I don't really play
FIFA. I'm sorry.
And FIFA, that's just not my jam. They're great games. I have fun when I play them with other people, but I don't play them on my own.
So yeah, I think that's kind of the context. I have a pretty significant amount of honorable mentions that I couldn't fit in the top 5. Do you want to do those right before our number 1, maybe?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
our
cool.
honorable mentions. Yeah.
Sick. Okay, well then let's fucking get into it.
Let's do it.
Do you want to start with your number 5 or should I start with my number 5?
I can go.
Okay, go. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is very fitting for the 5th spot because it is Madden Football 2005.
2005. Wow.
2005.
Hell yeah. You played Madden. I did not play Madden.
I played a lot of Madden in high school.
Yeah.
A lot of Madden. Why?
Yeah. It's a fair question, I feel like. Like, what about the football series did you like?
I think I picked it up because my dad had bought it for himself, and I was like, I'm bored. I'm going to play this sports game. And I had pretty much no interest in football before it. Mm-hmm. But Madden made me like football, which is why this one definitely gets on the list. But what I liked about it is that football is unique in a way in that playing it in a virtual form feels kind of close, I would think, to playing it and like actually like being a coach in real life, coach/player, because you get to choose the plays.
Strategizing about it.
Yeah, you get to choose the plays, and it is like based off reaction and reading the defense, right? Mm-hmm. So, everybody wants to be the quarterback, so that is kind of a pretty good representation of what it's like to be a quarterback, at least from a virtual perspective, Yeah. Where you have to make quick decisions to read the defense, and if you fuck up, it could be disastrous.
Yeah.
So each time you play, each down you do is pretty significant, and it's kind of nerve-wracking, and you're really like beforehand going up, like reading the defense, calling audibles, like being like, oh, that guy's there, so that route's not going to be open, so I'm going to put this guy over here. I'm just going to do a different play altogether. I'm going to do like a running play instead because like they're doing like a 5 deep cornerback set, and so like the middle's going to be wide open for a running play or something like that. So it definitely,
I know some of these words.
It just gets you to strategize in the same way that you like. It feels like you would if you were a player or a coach in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I felt like the controls were snappy, responsive.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely like make some pretty cool plays, diff arms, spin moves, running catches and stuff like that. If you wanted to, you could do like create a character mode and like be a wide receiver and just like run routes and catch passes and like not do anything else, which is kind of cool, right? Or be the running back and be like, I'm just going to be blocking for most of the game because I'm a rookie running back, and that's kind of what I'm expected to do.
Sure.
So it's fun in that way as well, that you can kind of role play a little bit before those sports games got too far into the role playing. See my rant about NBA 2K21. 2K20.
I believe that was Dobby and the basketball ghoul.
God, he's cursed. He's a cursed being. But yeah, this game in particular, it made it like a very cerebral experience as opposed to like a traditional sporting, like physical experience, which I thought was interesting. Definitely showed me how like cerebral a game of football is, strategy wise.
And I suspect probably more deep than like the 90s Maddens, where it's like just kind of a pretty rudimentary simulation of football where like you're not reading anything. You're just sort of like playing a video game.
No, like you're getting pretty close to what the actual playbooks are for the teams. Of course, you can do like the Ask Madden or whatever it is, where it just gives you like 3 plays to choose from. But you can go into like the whole playbook and just like choose whatever you want once you start getting more comfortable with it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And making your own audibles and, playing defense and, playing as different defensive players. Like cornerback is a very different position to play than defensive lineman. It's different to play than linebacker. It's just, it gives you a lot of different ways to experience the game. And they all felt like they were done well.
Nice. I sure do wish that there was like a story-driven football game. Like, I would love to play this game and get good at it, but like, I would love it if there was a little bit more pushing me, because I feel like a lot of sports games are kind of just like, you like the sport, so let's play it, versus like, give me Friday Night Lights, the video game.
Sure.
Like, I want to be in this universe, and like football is a part of that.
Chase, don't worry, you're already there. You were on the team with me and Sam and Alan and James, Sanchez and Jahan.
What is this memory you're conjuring?
I created all of you in this game at different positions and put us all on the same team together. Whoa.
Wow, so you got like a high school's barrels worth of bros up in your game.
Yeah. Wow. I, of course, was the 7-foot tall quarterback.
Yeah, why not? True to life.
True to life for who I am. True to life. Just jumping over people.
What position do I play? Out of curiosity.
I
biggest
think
boy?
You were a fullback.
I don't know what this means, David.
It's like the really big running back. Maybe
Maybe
you were I don't remember what you were. Maybe you were the tight end.
I asked that question like I knew what any of the answers were going to mean. I really don't.
Would you have known anything besides wide receiver or running back or quarterback?
No. Kicker. I would have known, but that's about it.
No, I wouldn't make any of you guys the kicker. That's mean.
Thanks.
Sorry if anybody was a kicker out there.
Hell yeah, that's a good one.
But fun game, really good.
Why 05? Is that just the one you had?
That was the one that I really started to play the most on. Yeah. And that's the one I kind of remember having the most fun. I think 05 and 06 were the ones that I really played. Mm-hmm. After that, I think I kind of fell off because I'm like, it's the same game every time. Yeah. Yeah, I think those are the two that I really played a lot. Nice. So yeah, it's just because that was when I was playing these games. So the reason why, really. I feel like usually when I hear like which like of the yearly sports games someone is really into, it has a lot to do with like if you're a total huge like sports nerd, then whichever one is probably the most accurate and most fun. But like oftentimes it's like whichever one you played kind of first or like got into it first. Yeah. I know that there's like some stinkers every now and then, like a couple of years where they're just totally with it. But like other than that, usually it's sometime around the year that you started playing. Yeah, no, most definitely. It's just when you have the most time to play these games and sink into them. Probably. Yeah, what about you? What's your number 5? My number 5 is Mario Tennis, David. Oh, for the N64. So good.
Mario Tennis was really, really good on the N64. They were like putting some special sauce on the N64 sports Mario games.
They really were.
It was tough, honestly, between this and Mario Golf for the N64 as well. But tennis beat it out. I think because I'm not a huge tennis fan. I also don't totally know how to play the game, but I played Mario Tennis and I had like kind of an understanding of how to play tennis, similar to how you were talking about Madden. It's like, I don't know the ins and outs or the intricacies of this game at all, but like I knew what the words meant and I knew like how to play it and like when serves were happening.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking good. I feel like they really nailed the tennis in this one.
They did. It was actually like a pretty good tennis game.
Yeah, it felt pretty good. Like I remember playing a lot of it. It just had a lot of legs to keep playing, and I haven't played it recently, but I suspect it will probably hold up quite well.
I played this game a lot in undergrad.
Yeah,
still holds up.
Still pretty fun. I think a lot of those games where they nail the mechanics of that stuff really early on is like still good. So yeah, I don't have a lot of very cool thoughts to think about Mario Tennis, but like I just loved it and played the ever-loving shit out of this game. I love how Mario sports games have a uncanny ability to make me interested in things that I probably wouldn't be anyway. Like this, golf. I don't give a shit about golf.
Right.
But like, I'll play every Mario golf game. They're all fucking fun. On the honorable mention, I will mention later, but or I'll say now and we'll talk about later. But Golf Story. I don't give a shit, but like because of the path that Mario Golf tread, I was like, oh, I bet Golf Story's pretty fun. Yeah. I bet that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, Golf Story was good.
It was very good. So yeah, I love that like era of Mario sports games. They had a lot of them, so it was just
solid
good stuff.
arcade sports games.
Again, I may be wrong about this, but it felt balanced enough. Like I felt like I could really go back and forth with somebody else, and like it wouldn't feel like somebody's running away with it.
You could have some competitions for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good fucking sports game. I like Mario Tennis. What's your fourth, David?
My fourth is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
Hell yeah. THPS 1 specifically.
Yeah, that's the one that just is the game of my heart.
Yeah.
You know,
gotcha.
like 2 is an excellent game, but 1's really got the levels that I remember and just like a part of my soul at this point.
Yeah.
But no, just, you know, going back and playing it, the game looks like garbage butt at this point. But it's still when you were a young lad, made you feel like Tony, made you feel like Tone. Really did. It was just so cool. Just
feel like Tone.
Made you feel like Tone. Huh? You were the Tone Zone. No, it's just the controls were just so good.
Yeah.
You know, that pretty much nothing else mattered. That just doing the tricks and landing the combos just felt so fluid and easy, yet difficult if you're really trying to do something impressive or crazy, that it made it feel like, I was really finding my lines and choosing tricks and just having a good old time. Skating around, breaking things. I
think we talked about this a little bit when we talked about the remakes that came out. This is last year, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This year?
It could have been this year, David. I have no fucking clue.
It came out in the time of COVID, and that's all that's all kind of one clump of time as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So, I like we talked about it a little bit then, and I think what we said then stands about how this game nailed the feel of it being an arcade game. Like it didn't take itself too seriously. If you had put out Skate before you had put out Tony Hawk, like I don't know if as many people would have been into it.
People have been
Skate's
like, what the fuck is this?
It's kind of hard, right? Like it's a difficult game and it's hard to just land like an ollie for a little while. You fly into the fucking Tone Zone and you're doing 300s in like a couple of minutes. Like,
yeah, no problem.
It makes you feel good and cool very quickly.
If you want to do a flip, get your special meter high enough and press these 4 buttons, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. And tells you how to do it, right? Like you don't have to fucking worry about it. You don't have to like figure it out too much. You just press up, down, A.
Yeah, talking about a good combo.
Yeah. Seriously, a good combo. Yeah.
Ooh, this game's got some great ones.
I love the sound that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater makes when you do a cool trick. Yeah. Like, oh my God. Feels very good. It's a good game. I also enjoy Tony Hawk. It's on my honorable mention was Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
It's a good one.
It's I was trying to think about which one of these I liked more, and I think it's hard for me to pull them apart enough. It's pretty much between that and Tony Hawk's Underground, and I think in the same way that Forza Motorsport is like I think probably a better like game than Horizon for me. Horizon captures this like car culture and is just so enthused about it in a way that Tony Hawk's Underground also captured a certain segment of like a skating population and marketed it. I suspect that it is probably not, like, this is not accurate, right? Like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater or Tony Hawk's Underground is like not a real thing, but the sort of glamorized version of that culture, I think, was really fun to experience as a young dude, in the same way that like Need for Speed Underground was fun, or Forza Horizon is fun.
Sure. Yeah.
In that it is unbridled enthusiasm for this part of the culture that, like I said, is probably doesn't exist, but like is a very like heightened sense of it. So I don't know which one of those would have been higher, but regardless, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, absolute bop.
Great game.
And skating's at the fucking Olympics. So
sure
get
is.
wrecked. Get wrecked. I went to, there was a brewery around the corner from me that was hosting a viewing of the women's skate competition at the Olympics.
Oh, cool.
It was hosted by Girls Who Skate, shouts out. And it was the fucking best. Like everybody there was just like totally enthused and stoked on skating, and like watching a lot of like girls in the Olympics. Like the winner of the women's skateboarding competition was 13.
She was 13?
The youngest female gold medalist of all time. 13.
Where's she from? What country?
Japan. She's from Japan.
Damn, Japan got gold.
Sick.
Both skateboarding competitions.
Yeah, which is like, that's so cool.
That's cool.
It's got to feel so fucking good.
Yeah. Did an American do well?
The one of the Americans got fourth. She was 34. So like quite a difference in the age.
13 and 34. God,
a full 21 years older than some of the people.
That feels so weird to lose to a 13-year-old in an international competition at the highest level.
Yeah, I get it. I would also be kind of stoked. Like, this kid is so young and has such a huge career ahead of you. Man. Like, tough. Yeah. I mean, like, the Olympics are not a sport for very, very old, or, you know, even regular old people, like people in their 30s, you know.
We're just regular old people.
Just regular humans now. Can I tell you about my number 4, David?
Yeah, tell me.
It's NBA Street.
Number 1 or 2?
This is number 4.
Number 4?
Oh, sorry. Which NBA
Volume
Street?
1 or Volume 2? I'm sorry.
I think probably 1. I think 1 I played more of. I think 2 was probably a better game. Like I remember that one feeling a little bit better, but I think 1 I put more time into. Similar to what you were saying about how Madden got you into football, NBA Street showed me that there are fun in sports that aren't just like, I don't know, the weird culture around it.
Sure.
Again, I was just such a fucking indoor kid. Like, I thought that sports were antithetical to my person. Because like all the people who were shitty to me at school were people who were really into sports.
Yeah.
And so like, I was like, I don't think those are for me. But then NBA Street came along and it's like, hey, this isn't totally real, but like, it is basketball. There is basketball being played here.
Sure is.
And it was just so much fucking fun and stylized. How ridiculous this game was, but also felt cool. Like I felt cool playing NBA Street.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was saying before, like in the same way that like Need for Speed Underground made me feel cool. It's like, this probably doesn't exist, especially because these people are jumping 30 feet in the air. But
jumping multiple times in the air.
Yeah. So it's impossible, but it's just fucking good. I enjoyed it. It felt competitive. Like it was fun to play against other people in the computer. If I remember correctly, there's also like a career mode that was pretty fun.
Maybe there's a career mode in the first one, but the career mode was definitely the big draw in the second.
Yeah, it was definitely heightened. It's possible that there was like an arcade mode in the first one too, where you just like went through a bunch of different levels and like, fought people there.
There was definitely a create a character in the first one, but I don't know if there was like an actual career, but I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played that one.
Yeah, it was just really fun. I loved how much the stats were tangible in this game. Like you could really feel a difference whenever you were like upping your speed or, you know, your power or something like that. All of that felt really good. I think you were playing the 21, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
And so like that part of it I found like just incredibly easy to understand.
Ones and twos.
Yeah, ones and twos. Like just it's simple, man. Like just give me the straight up and down game. I was always frustrated whenever I played an actual NBA game and I stood in front of the fucking hoop and put my hand up and they're like, "Hey, you're breaking the rules." Guys, just let me play the fucking sports. I want to play the sport where I can jump and catch the ball. Yeah. They're like, no, that's goaltending. I don't know.
When you go up and block it and it's coming down from the top of its arc of the shot.
Correct. Yes. Guys, I'm 10. I don't understand this. Just like either let me hit the ball or don't.
Let me live.
And NBA Street was like, we got you. like anything you do in this game is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I loved that. The specials were also very good in a very Tony Hawk Pro Skater way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The like just ridiculous combos. If I remember correctly, like all the music cuts out and it like goes into this like almost black and white. Yeah. And you score like a huge dunk or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was in the first one or the second one, but there was a way to like end the game by breaking the hoop, which always felt just incredible.
So good.
As a way to end the game.
So good.
Just absolutely disrespectful to the person you're playing against, but like so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love NBA Street. It made me enjoy basketball in a way that I did not before that.
Oh yeah.
Nice. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is NBA Street Volume 2.
Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. I mean, also a good video game.
Yeah, no, excellent. I think I just improved upon the first one in almost every way. And then had just a surprisingly deep story mode where you create your character and you go to the different parks and you like have to beat like the best teams in the park, and you get to choose like a player to bring onto your team. And so you start off with just like the local squad, and you just build up to having NBA players and then NBA legends, and then like the street baller legends on their team. Get Stretch. He's always the coolest to have Stretch on your team. He's just a baller. And then you just had a really nice kind of like RPG progression of skills that you would be able to level up. Just felt like a very nice progression of how to evolve as a player.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you've just in any of these games, you just essentially make Steph Curry as a character, you know, just crazy handles and drain threes on people, and then that's just always been always been my MO. Little did I know I was just playing NBA 2.0 basketball. So no, it was just so good. And the art style was just refined.
It was really good in the second one.
The music was so good. Oh, the jazzy jazz music. My God.
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. You're right that the style of the game was really good. I feel like they really leaned into it being like this bright and flashy,
very bright
game. In the second one,
the first one was kind of dark.
Yeah, it was a little grungy.
Yeah, it was like, a little grungy. Like definitely went more street as opposed to like arcadey, if that makes sense. And they realized no, just go full colors.
I think that like has aged a lot better. Like the first one's gonna look like Gears of War, but with a basketball, whereas like the second one looks like this kind of like arcadey, almost cartoonish kind of game. Proportions are all very lanky, which I like just found very fun. I mean, like I in talking about this, I think this is probably the better video game and has probably aged better. Like of the two, I think it's the one that if somebody's like, hey, I heard of this video game series NBA Street, which one should I play? Probably Volume 2. Yeah,
it's just deeper. It has more teams to play with, and I think it has WNBA players, which are fun to play with. Yeah, it was oh man, great game.
I loved all the like NBA legends that they included. Like Larry Bird being in the game was just a fucking joy.
All the NBA legends in the game, and how they would tell you their nickname as well. Loved it.
Wasn't Dr. J in there too?
Dr. J was in there. Wilt Chamberlain was in there. I think all the biggest like NBA stars were in there. Pete Maravich, I think, was in there, who was like a deep cut for a game like that too.
It was like reviewed pretty well too at the time. Like I think Street 2 was like, people were like hot on that.
It rightfully so.
Can you tell about my third one?
Yeah, go for it.
It's SSX Tricky, David.
Ooh.
The snowboarding game.
Good one. It's a good pick.
I typically like snowboarding games. I feel like it's a pretty fun series. Like 1080 was good. I like Snowboarding Kids on N64. SSX was like always a big one. And so like, so the first SSX was good. It was like, I think, if not a PS2 launch title around then, like it was early in the PS2's like life cycle. And it was a really good proof of concept and like clearly showed like, this is fun. This is a fun snowboarding game. But Tricky was like, no, we're going to like just dunk on this whole series. It is similar to what you were saying about Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, is that it arcadified this kind of game. Like I think as wild as 1080 was, like a lot of it was like, these are tricks somebody could maybe do at like the highest level of play. SSX Tricky was like, no, we're going to give you a boost, and then you're going to go off a jump and like fly like hundreds of feet in the air.
You're going to do something
and
crazy.
Land it. Yeah, like this is an unreal thing. But God, just the game feel was so phenomenal. It's like good. It controlled really well. It was really tight. Like you never felt like you were just kind of floating around. Like snowboarding games are hard to do because there is a lot of just like momentum that you have on the hill. And so like it's hard to make that feel good. Because if you made it feel realistic, it's probably just kind of like falling, but gracefully. Whereas SSX Tricky, you felt in control most of the time. Despite the fact you were going downhill, it was still like, I'm rocking it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was just super fun in the same way that the NBA Street Volume 2 was stylized. SSX Tricky was stylized as fuck. Really bright colors, really like flashy characters and levels and all sorts of shit. Made it feel like competition in the same way. Like there's always these nutty announcers going on in the background talking about like how nuts this race is. Yeah.
So someone who sounds unhinged, like hasn't slept in 2 days and is only awake because they did a lot of coke or something, you know?
Or just their sheer enthusiasm for the sport that is currently being played. Like,
their love for the sport is their drug.
Yeah. So yeah, it was just such a good game. I think I probably mentioned this before, but I love in these SSX games, and I think it started here, where when you go off of a jump, there's a lot of music being played at any given moment of this game. But in SSX Tricky, what would happen is you would go off a jump that would be quite high in the air, and the music would sort of like cut out. And all you could really hear was like the wind going by you. And it would just like essentially simulate you being up 100 feet in the air and feeling like you were so high up. And then when you landed, the music would snap back in all at the same time.
Kanye Tetsun. Can we get much higher?
Anyway, it was just really fucking good. I think I most of the sports games that I enjoy set out to hit a certain vibe, I think a lot of the time. And I think that's what I enjoy.
That's just kind of what you enjoy in video games, though, isn't it?
I mean, certainly that, but I think like because a sports game is so repetitive and you're oftentimes doing levels multiple times, like I would like it to feel good to exist in this place.
Yeah.
Mario Tennis does that. NBA Street does that. SSX Tricky does that. The next two also do that.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, it felt good to do a cool snowboarding trick.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tell me about your number 2?
Yeah, I do. NBA 2K11.
Ooh, okay. Hell yeah. Return of the simulation sports games.
Return of the simulation sports games. Also, my God, look how they've massacred my boy. Truly. This is a Harvey Dent, you either die the hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain type of moment, because my God, dude, this game was so good.
Yeah.
I played so much of this game when it came out. I'd been playing the 2K games, like started getting into them like 2K8 or 2K9, I think, and really liked them. But then 2K11 took it up another notch because, Chase, you could be Michael Jeffrey Jordan in this game, and you could relive his greatest moments.
That's cool.
And they would give him specific stat boosts to relive these moments, so you could be Michael Jeffrey Jordan doing these amazing things.
You could be Michael Jordan when he goes Super Saiyan and beats Frieza.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan, Chase, please. Give him his full name. MJJ.
Okay. Michael Goku Jordan.
Michael Goku Jordan. Anyways, but yeah, and I also think that this game really nailed the simulation of the game very well, right? I think it's gotten a little streamlined in recent ones, and it makes me feel like I don't have as much control over the characters.
Sure.
In this one, everything felt very precise. Like I knew exactly what I was doing at all times, like for dribble moves, for shooting, for layups, for dunks, for three-pointers, anything like that. And it probably had the best career mode out of all of these, because it just kept it simple. It didn't have all these crazy cutscenes, maybe like a couple for just like shits and giggles, but it didn't like make you a character. It just let you be you instead of this other person who looked like you doing these things. That's
just
not
like acting differently.
Yeah, it's just like that's not me. That's not what I would do. But they're like forcing my career to be this guy's career, that this character that they have written. Whereas this one's just like, just do what you want to do. Just do your thing. It's you. Yeah, so it just led to some really great moments in video games for me. Like when I beat the Houston Rockets down 3-0 in the playoffs, came back and I hit the game-winning shot in Game 7 for 3, and then beat LeBron James's Miami Heat once again, hit the game winner over LeBron at the end of the game. Definitely saved that replay to my Xbox hard drive. That's still out there somewhere floating around. But no, I think just in the if a sports game's goal is to make you feel like you are the star player on the team and that you are earning that reputation by getting better and getting better stats, then this game, more than any other, I think nails it so hard. Like really makes you feel like you are progressing in a fair way, but that the way that you're progressing is, it's challenging. you know, it does challenge you to try to get better, right? And you'll get your ass handed to you some games, but then you just go into the gym, become a gym rat. You work hard, you get the stat points that don't cost extra money on the game, on top of the game, and you don't have to watch ads or be a Beats salesman or anything like that. You just play ball. Sure. You're just a ball player. God, Just post up. Just go hard in the paint. Hit the game winner over LeBron. It's great. But yeah, that's a fantastic game.
That's cool. It's interesting hearing about how the farther it went away from narrative, the more that it felt good to you.
Yeah, I thought I wanted more narrative, but I think they went too far. They went too far with it.
Yeah, I played a little bit of one of the 2K games. I don't remember which one it was, but you're right that like you create a character, you see them in these situations, and you're like, man, this guy kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't who I imagined.
It's just like, it's called My Career, but it's really not.
Yeah, it's like just some person that they've given voice to, and I don't think that works quite as well. You're right. It's like the difference between like the main character in Half-Life is something Gordon Freeman, how he is a unvoiced character, and you can sort of hyperimpose yourself onto whoever that is.
Exactly.
You can hyperimpose your experience onto it versus like a poorly voice acted character in another game. Like Gordon Freeman could have been a bad character if he like was voice acted by somebody terrible and like they did a terrible job.
Yeah.
But instead, you just got like fucking Alex Vance's voice actor or actress killing it. And so like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if they just haven't hit it yet. I would love a basketball game via Fire Emblem Three Houses where maybe you don't play Byleth, the basketball star.
Mm-hmm.
You play any of them really, but you can like between games just go like hang out with each other and talk to them. And like you get this cast of characters. You get an ensemble of the whole team rather than like create one character and that's your dude. And then they have, you know, well-written characters. And so you're just on a basketball team, but there's good shit happening.
Are you trying to date some of these characters, Chase?
Maybe if it's an option. If they give me an option, maybe. If it's well-written, if it's Garrus Vakarian, if it's Garius Vakarian, the basketball NBA star.
Garius Vakarian.
He is going to be my romance. Yes. I just feel like there's so much room. Like a basketball team is literally an ensemble. Just make a good set of characters and let me play some of them. I want so badly for the game to open up and me be playing the quarterback. No, me be playing at nighttime as like one of these characters just like shooting hoops at my like local park or something.
I mean, you could still be the quarterback.
I could be the quarterback
and the point guard.
It's my fantasy, damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can like just learn how to play the game in this like kind of darkly lit. And it's like, oh, I'll never get out of this fucking town or whatever. Or like, it's always been my dream to be a fucking basketball star. And it like makes you like meet all these people. Maybe you get Divine Pulse, the ability to turn back time.
Divine Pulse?
It's a mechanic in Fire Emblem.
I was about to say, did you just make this up?
No, you get Divine Pulse in basketball. You can go and replay a play real quick.
Why not?
I'm just saying we need to JRPG-ify our basketball video
I think
games.
there's an anime based on basketball.
There is. It's pretty good.
You just got to bring that into a video game is all it is.
Yeah.
At that point, right?
My number 2 is related. Can I tell you what my number 2 is? It's NBA Jam.
Ooh.
Good
Strawberry.
video game. This one is so like I was pretty young when NBA Jam came out. This one is more from me playing NBA Jam since then. This game is really, really fun. I get why this was like on like pun intended on fire for a little while. Like it's a really fun basketball game. I think in the same way that NBA Street is, it is stripped down basketball. Like it is light years less complex than real basketball is, but my God, is it fun.
Yeah.
I have a hard time saying anything else other than that, because that is what every part of the game is serving.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
The way you move, that like how you score the dunking. Shakalaka. Oh my God. It's just so, the sound design, everything. Like anytime that there is an arcade, I will poke my head in to see if NBA Jam is in there. I gotta play a little bit. Gotta drain a couple of quarters in there.
Who's your team?
I mean, like I'm stupid. Like I'll go play with the fucking Bulls, man.
Yeah.
Like they're really good in that game. If I'm trying to be a hometown hero, then like the Kings, but like
they're gonna be so bad in that one.
They're gonna be bad, especially in NBA Jam. This was nowhere near where they were like a good team.
You can do turn of the century games, and that's about it if you want to play as a good Kings team.
Or just feel good about yourself as a Kings fan.
Yeah. This is how it's always gonna be, right?
I don't have a lot of like really cool things to say about NBA Jam. I just think it's like a really fun video game, and like it wasn't the thing that led me into basketball, but I think is a phenomenal example of game design that lasts a long time. I think points towards arcade games as being something that just like really last a while because they are so attached to the idea of trying to make a game fun. Like that is all they're trying to do.
Yeah.
In such little bite-sized things. I think that there's, as we've said before, there's this back and forth of like, you want to make an arcade game super duper fun, but also you got to drain some quarters into it to play it. And I think that NBA Jam hits a really nice balance where like, you feel like you got your quarters worth whenever you play around that game.
Totally.
Rather than like, Rampage, where it's like, this is a really fun game, but why did I get killed so easily just now?
Need more Skrilla, baby.
Give me more quarters. Versus like Jam, you can just get around it and be like, hell yeah, that was really, really good. So yeah, NBA Jam. It's my number 2.
Okay.
Do we want to go over some honorable mentions before we get to number 1, which I suspect is the same thing?
Yeah, I think so. We'll have a countdown to number 1.
I think so.
Yeah, I'll put down my honorable mentions. I'll just go through them quickly.
Yeah, sure.
Golf Story. Talked about that one. NBA Jam.
It's really good. Yep.
NBA Street 1.
Yep.
Skate.
Yeah, really good one.
Mario Tennis.
Yep.
Tony Hawk's Underground. And Rocket League.
Yeah, I saw Rocket League pop up on a lot of people's lists.
Yeah, no, that's a really good game.
Yeah.
Really good game. You just gotta find some people to play with when you're first starting out. Otherwise, it's gonna go poorly for you. And turn off all the chat options. Otherwise, it's gonna go poorly for you.
Yeah, you don't want to hear any of this.
From your team and the opponents.
What a save.
Yeah, what? Oh, God. Jahan does that so much. He's a bad manners boy in that game. It's pretty funny to watch, but like, damn. God. Chill out, dude.
It's just a game. Why you have to be mad? So honorable mentions for me. I don't know which year it was, but like the NHL games circa like 2012 to 2014 were all really. Yeah, that was really fun. That was, I think, specifically because my cousin Jazz was really into them at the time and was like, hey, do you want to play this with me? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah. I don't know how to play this, but we can do this. He was really into hockey. And so I think that just sort of like by proxy got me into it. And so, yeah, that was another situation of like, I don't know how to play this game, either hockey nor the video game. But I think like you were saying with Rocket League, having somebody else who does know how to play it is like a huge help.
Yeah.
You can get to the part where you're playing better, faster. And those games are just really fun. Like it's a great simulation of that sport. Another honorable mention, like I was saying before, Golf Story for sure. Yeah. It's fucking good. I can't wait for Sports Story. Like I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't replay Golf Story. I should just fucking do that. It's been a long time.
It's a fun one. It drags a little bit in the middle, but it's good.
Yeah, for sure. What the Golf, that came out I think a year or two ago. Also another phenomenal game. That was a mobile game. It is
you're talking about this one the other day.
I think so. It's maybe. No, I was talking about oh god, Clap Hands Golf. Clap Hands Golf is a little bit different. What the Golf is a game that is a golf game for one level, and then it like immediately turns it on its head, and it's like you swing your putt the second round, and it like throws the club instead of the ball, and so like you're trying to get your club into it, and then the next time you're a person and you swing your club back and hurl it, and your person goes flying over into the hole. Like it's just a game that is constantly surprising you. It's fucking great.
All right.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater was on mine. NFL Blitz was on mine. That was like, this is not football, but I like this part of football game. Def Jam Fight for New York, David. We're going to count that as like a wrestling fighting game.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Def Jam.
Love that game. All
right.
So ridiculous. So many famous rappers. Like, so silly that they got everybody in there. Yeah, it was fucking great. The Ready to Rumble boxing series was really good. I played a lot of the first one on Dreamcast. The theme song is forever stuck in my head. There's like, they sample the like dude at the beginning of boxing matches, the let's get ready to rumble dude. And they like made a song around that. It's fucking ridiculous.
All right.
Love that game. It was like just hyper stylized and fun as hell.
Yeah.
And also the Fight Night games that were coming out for a little while.
Sure.
I found those like pretty good actually. Like
they were reviewed well. I never played any of them.
Yeah, I was into it. Like I'm not somebody who's into like real life fighting. I find it kind of a bummer of a sport. Like just these people beating the ever loving shit out of each other, but like much more enjoyable as a video game. Like I don't feel terrible about that happening. And the control scheme that they mapped on that one was really good. Like you had to use, you were like, I can't remember if it was both arms or not, but I think both arms were mapped to either control stick. And so like to do an uppercut, you would like use like your left control stick and just do down up and it will do that. Or like, you know, side punches will like kind of do your like quarter circle thing. And so like it ended up playing, you kind of felt a little bit more like viscerally the sensation of like throwing punches. And I thought that was like just a really interesting way to twist the game rather than just like X is your punch, A is your good punch, triangle is your fucking, you know, your gut punch or anything like that. It was just a lot more in depth. And so I found that really good. And the last one on my honorable mentions is Blazeball. Because what the fuck is fucking Blazeball, man?
Blazeball, baby.
This game is so ridiculous. I love it.
Blitzball?
Dude, I was thinking about it. Like, honorable mention, just calling out Blitzball in Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
You only play it for a little bit, but like, sure is cool.
Yeah,
got the vibe down. But no, Blazeball is really cool. I'm sure that some of the people listening to this don't know what the fuck that is. It's like this online simulation of initially baseball, and like you would essentially how the game works is a text-based simulation. So you just like log on whenever they're playing a game and there's like a text readout of what's happening, which seems like an incredibly boring way to enjoy this game. But almost immediately after they started doing this, they essentially have like, I assume, simulations that are sort of like crunching numbers behind the scenes to see how these games play out. But very quickly after that, they started just like turning every rule in baseball on its head. And like there are narrative twists that are coming that I'd like, or that have happened that are just so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
All the teams are really, really great. And you like essentially choose like, I want to support this team. And I can only bet on like, you know, this team winning or losing. You get like coins that mean nothing. They essentially affect your ability to vote on certain things, like what rules you want to see in the next season or whatever.
Sure.
There's a lot of like cosmic horror shit that happens. Like sometimes like a meteor will hit the baseball field and everybody dies and they have to draft like an entirely new team or anything. The teams themselves are phenomenal. The Hawaii Fridays are a really fun group of people that I like really enjoy paying attention to.
Okay.
There's like a group of, or a team of like demons essentially, which are really fun.
Demon team.
The Hellmouth Sunbeams. Love those folks.
Hellmouth Sunbeams.
Let's see. Looks like there's a new team called the Atlantis Georgias. Huh? Which I presume are like mer people or something.
Mer people.
Not to mention there's like a bunch of like players that you can track. Oh my God, I really have not been paying attention. There, under the team name for the Kansas City Breath Mints, there is a lineup of normal people. There's a rotation. And then there's also a section called Shadows. I have no idea what that means.
Interesting.
For example, Trinity Roke. Trinity Roke is a lineup player in the Shadows for the Kansas City Breath Mints and has been with the team since season 18, day 70. Okay, what the fuck is a shadow? The Shadows were first named during Season 6 elections when Mike Townsend of the Seattle Garages and Donia Bailey of the Houston Spies retreated to the Shadows as a consequence of blessings due to Jalen Hot Dog Fingers' resurrection and Evelyn McBlaze II joining the Spies roster respectively.
What the fuck?
The Shadows were unviewable by the site by normal means until Season 12, when concessions became available for purchase. Fans then became able to view the Shadows of their favorite team by purchasing an apple.
So weird.
Oh my God. I love this. Like, it's so fucking funny and like incredible. And like this, it is interesting in the way that like procedural games like this are fun. Like I have no idea what's going to happen because they're constantly changing it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Blazeball's fucking cool.
Cool.
Let's talk about our number ones, David, because I think they're the same thing.
On 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Wii Sports.
Yeah. It's fucking Wii Sports. It had to be Wii Sports,
Yeah.
David. It's right there in the name.
It's Wii Sports.
Sports.
It is the sports for the Wii.
This game rules.
Greatest free game of all time.
This game fucking rules unquestionably. I have like, I feel like not caveats, but like I have to give reasons. I feel like why all of the other games are like on my list. I feel like I don't have to give a single fucking reason for Wii Sports. Anybody who has played this game knows exactly why it is good.
This game is so engaging that they use it for rehab for physical rehab. They use this.
I get it. Like,
it gets people moving, gets people engaged.
In a way that like other motion controlled games I will set down eventually because I'm like, oof, I'm tired. No, Wii Sports, I gotta box this person.
I play through the pain.
You literally have. Didn't you fuck up your elbow by playing too much tennis or something?
I got tennis elbow from Wii Sports. When I was a little chubby kid playing this game and I just didn't know how to use my body.
I can't stop, Father.
I can't stop.
I must
playing.
be the best.
That's the most physical activity I've ever gotten.
So it is both good on the control level. Every one of these games feels good to control. They are so responsive and so snappy in a way that you like really want them to be. This was also the first time that you could use your Miis in a video game, and also Miis were like a new thing that had just come out.
Yeah, Miis were like, why would we want to do this? And then you play Wii Sports, you're like, no, I got to make everybody a Mii.
Yeah, no, you have to reconstruct your society.
Yeah, I need
with Wii.
I need Shaq. I need Jables. I need the president. I need everybody as a Mii.
Literally every person I've met up to this point. Yeah, it was fucking good. So all of that said, like, I almost don't want to talk about the impact of this game just because it's like so ubiquitous, but I feel like that's part of why this game is so important. I don't know. Like, it may be backwards. It may be that it was so ubiquitous because it was just such an appealing game.
Sure.
Like, if you see one person playing tennis in Wii Sports, you're like, I would like to play as well. I would like to see what this is about. It's just so low risk. It seems so much fun. You're just seeing people fucking slamming dingers across the net.
Slamming dingers.
It seems fun. So like it is immediately both enjoyable, and I think probably for the reasons that like even your grandma had one, it's so understandable what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Because it's just mimicking sports motions.
Yeah, like the most complicated thing in the game is you have to release B when you're done holding your bowling ball.
Yeah,
you know, that's the hardest part. The rest of it's like, I know what a punch looks like. I'm just gonna do this to like punch people in boxing. I know what holding the baseball bat feels like. I know what a tennis racket feels like. Like all this shit. Like it's easy. Yeah. You understand immediately what to do.
It really made me a believer in the Wii technology. Yeah. When I first played it. And then I played Red Steel and I'm like, there's still a little bit to go.
Maybe.
But then I went back to Wii Sports and I'm like, it's so good. So buttery smooth.
It feels really good. Yeah, they like clearly worked on it for just ever to make it feel really nice.
Yeah, honestly.
What was your game? What was your favorite game in there?
Probably the one I played the most was the tennis. I really enjoyed a good tennis game, to be honest.
There was a little bit of like ladder climbing too with tennis. Like you started playing harder people.
Yeah, because you upgrade your skill level in the game and then it matches you.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. Each time you win or how much you win by and stuff like that. So that always felt good.
It did.
But it was bowling, and it was baseball were my favorites.
Baseball was good.
Golf was pretty good too. Definitely would mess with golf. I think there was archery in that one, or was that Sports Resort?
That was Sports Resort, yeah.
Basketball?
I don't think so. I think the only other one was boxing. Yeah, not to mention the absolutely ubiquitous Wii Sports soundtrack, David.
So good.
Burned into my memory. Absolute bop. It felt like a sports future that I wanted to be a part of, David.
It did. A sports future that I can thrive in. They were all so good. I think boxing was my least favorite because it seemed like it was just punching and that was it.
It was, of the five, kind of shallow comparatively. Still played the ever-loving hell out of it.
It's true.
Yeah, it had to be Wii Sports, dude. Like there's no other answer in here that makes any sense.
Yeah. Sorry, hardcore sports heads.
Sorry, all you FIFA boys.
Sorry, FIFA boys.
It couldn't have been that. It had to be Wii Sports. Yeah, what else to say about fucking Wii Sports, man? You've played this video game. Anybody listening to this, I'm sure, has played Wii Sports. Like, it's a pretty fair guesstimate. You know why this game is good.
Yeah, everyone knows why this game is good. It is the ultimate pick up and play game. Anyone can do it. Everyone has fun doing it. And it's surprisingly deep if you want to get good at some of these games. Like, try to bowl a 300. It ain't easy.
No, it isn't. Do you have, like, a favorite Wii Sports memory? Like, a time that really stands out?
I think just when it came out, just playing it with all the homies who came over, just taking turns, playing each other in tennis, trying to strike out your buddy in baseball, hitting a homer off your buddy, and then lapping around him in real life as your Mii goes around the bases in the game.
Is this me? Are you talking about me?
I don't know. I think I might have done it to Alan.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe you too. I don't know. This guy could be a kind of a shithead sometimes.
And we're in high school.
Yeah. That's what high school is for.
I feel like the Wii came out in November, I think, of that year, or somewhere around there. Quite a few, I feel like, Christmas Wii Sports games played. Like,
oh yeah,
nobody was going anywhere at that time. Like, everybody was situated in the place that they were, and so, like, you know, you'd have friends over on, like, you know, the 22nd or the 23rd of December, and everybody'd crowd around and play Wii Sports.
Oh yeah,
love that.
Get the stink going.
Just such cold, nice memories in Sacramento. Like, it's just fucking frigid outside, and you're slamming dingers with you and your buddies.
Slamming dingers. Exactly. That's what they say.
Yeah. Yeah. That is what they say in tennis, baseball, boxing,
slamming dingers,
golf, slamming dingers.
I do one thing and one thing only. Slam dangers.
It had to be Wii Sports.
I dang slammers.
Cool. Let's close this one out.
Yeah. We're on Twitter at Podtimism.
We are.
Tweet us. Tell us your favorite sports games. Do you agree with our list? Do you disagree with our list? What are your feelings and opinions and thoughts and desires and needs and wants? Please let us know.
I'm so mad about us being on Twitter.
We're on Twitter.
We're on Twitter. Slams hand.
We're there because we have to be.
Just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, pretty much. You can email us too if you want to do something more than 140 characters. Oh, what is the limit now? Is it more than 140?
280, I think.
If you want to do more than 280 characters, you email us at vgpodtimism@gmail.com.
No limits on text in an email, I think.
No limits in there. Just your heart is the only limitation.
Yeah, just how deep is your love?
Yeah. If you really want to help us out, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. If you want, you can also subscribe to the cast on whatever channel you use, if that's a thing you can do, or just do whatever you want, or not. Who knows? Do what you think. Do your thing. If you really, really want to help us out, we love you.
What? What does it mean?
Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
If you want to help us out, we love you.
Yeah.
Let me finish your thought. If you want to help us out a lot, you can tell your gamer bud about this podcast.
Oh yeah, that one too.
You would like that. You skipped right over it. Your brain went, I am through with this thought. I would like to be done.
We're 2 hours into the cast, Chase. I can't expect to be perfect right now.
So, if you want to, show it to your buddy. Also, what David was saying before, thanks for listening. We love you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for spending your time with us. It's great.
It's phenomenal. Very, very happy to have you here. We love you and support you.
Mm-hmm.
You skipped like a minute of text in there. There was a lot of stuff.
It wasn't that much.
Yeah.
Chase, do you have any video game wisdom for us this week?
Play Wii Sports.
Yeah.
If you haven't already.
Yeah.
If you have played Weed Sports. If you have
Weed Sports.
If you have played Weed Sports, then you should also perhaps consider playing one of the other games we talked about.
Don't play sports on weeds, kid. It's dangerous.
Oh, weeds. I thought you said weed because you can just put the strap on your wrist. It's not that dangerous.
Just strap it up.
Just strap it up. Just don't yeet your Wiimote at your fucking TV, man.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
All those videos of people doing it, I feel like they're going to age like the videos of people watching the first moving picture of the train coming through.
Don't jump out of your seat.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming right for us.
Yeah.
All these people just I'm playing tennis and then throwing their fucking Wiimote at the television.
I understand those a lot more after that. Those early reports of people watching that train coming in. Just just the really silly people in the audience who fell for that. But you still gotta put the warning up.
But there's still some people in there, yeah.
Put the warning up.
Anyway, yeah, play a Wii Sports. It's a good video game. That's the hottest take of 2021. Wii Sports, good game.
Good game. Only has a C+ on review aggregators.
What?
People slammed it.
Listen, wow. Listen, this is not the point of our podcast. Those people were wrong. Objectively.
history has judged them poorly.
It's just wrong.
Yeah.
It is the incorrect opinion. We have never said that before, and I don't think I ever will again. If you think Wii Sports is a bad game, you can take a hike. You can go kick rocks.
We are all out of podtimism.
It's 2 minutes in. What has happened to time, David?
Did I say 2 minutes?
You said 2 minutes.
It's 2 hours in. My brain is fried. It's gotten so hot in the chamber.
Well, goodbye. Have a beautiful week and a lovely weekend to all you weed sports.
Weed sports, baby. Bye.